This is Anderson Pen's podcast, episode 5 for Tuesday, June 26th, 2012. This is Brian.
And this is Lisa.
This is the Anderson Pen's Radio Network. Welcome.
Thank you.
So last week I mentioned a text message, a phone call that my sister and brother-in-law sent me. It went something like this. 2 Parkers, 1 Wherever, 5 boxes of cartridges, $10. So a quick phone call, a couple of quick and dirty cell phone pictures later, and we were able to identify a jade Parker senior-sized pen with some discoloration and a double jeweled vacuumatic. So I immediately told my sister and brother-in-law to buy immediately. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Buy the pens.
Pay the man.
Pay the man. That's right. So I got a chance to meet up with my sister, brother-in-law, and niece for lunch this past Sunday, and we exchanged our birthday presents. And so here's the box. It's a standard check size box, and all the pens. The Wherever was a Wherever. The cartridges were cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a whatever.
But the pens are in great condition. There's no chips, no cracks. They all have nibs, no bent nibs. The Senior turns out, I'm going to show it here. You can kind of see it. It's got a nice green cap, but then, of course, the barrel is quite heavily discolored. So much so that if you actually hold this up to the light, you can. It's somewhat transparent now. But
that's not good, right?
Well, it's not good. But you know what? It seems stable. It doesn't seem like it's gonna crack or break. But this particular pen happens to be a pre-duofold Jade Senior, and it has a Lucky Curve nib, and the imprint just says Parker on it. It doesn't say Lucky Curve. It doesn't say duofold. So that kind of puts it right in the first year 1926 camp, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
Nib looks great, nice medium size. I think it's going to make a great daily user. You're not going to have to worry about if something happens to it affecting the value. Or the flip side of it, I guess, you find a barrel and you've got a even nicer looking pen. The cap's actually pretty nice. So that was nice. And then I open up, look at the Vacuumatic.
Pretty pen.
Golden pearl. Turns out double jewels.
Awesome.
It's got the stripe jewels and the stripe section.
Cool.
And it's got a speedline filling unit in it, which is kind of cool. I like them. A little bit easier to work on, too, as far as repair. Very clean pen. It's Deb size, so it was advertised towards ladies.
Ooh, it'd fit in my hand.
It might fit in your hand. We'll get to that in a minute. But
awesome.
it seems to have seen very little use. I mean, it's very, very, very clean, very pretty. The blue diamond, blue paint, and the diamond is actually still there in good shape. And so seeing very little use. Now, the cool thing, at least for me, is that both of these pieces have been engraved with the owner's name on them. I know some of you already probably have mentally moved on to the rest of the podcast, thinking, why would I want something with somebody else's name on it? And I've done a blog post about it before. I talk to people at pen shows about this all the time. But here's the cool thing about these.
Well, you like engravings.
I do. I think a little, bit of history gives it a little bit of history, and it makes you wonder who the owner was and what they may have written with it. And especially on some of the early overlay pens.
Those are pretty.
They were meant to be given as gifts, special occasions. Some of those particular pens, if they don't have an engraving on them, they almost seem naked.
Naked? It's a family-friendly show, Mr. Anderson. Moving on.
There are no naked pens in this podcast. Anyway, the cool thing about these is the Vacuumatic has, first of all, the Vacuumatic has the owner's actual signature on the pen. So these were popular at the time. You see 51s with these a lot too. You fill out a card, you sign your name, and you send it in, and then they engrave the pen with your exact signature. So it's, a nice personalized touch. So on the Vacuumatic, we have Gladys Cronquest.
Okay.
Nice, very, very nice signature. And I'm looking at the Jade Senior, and it didn't have that same type of engraving, but a very nice, very attractive font.
Okay.
And this one is engraved Harry Cronquest. So his name's on the Senior, and his wife's name's on the lady's debutante Vacuumatic.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's like a non-matching set. They have to stay together.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So, but I mean, are you looking to have a Vacuumatic added to your pen tray? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think I'm good. Why? You're going to keep the Senior? I guess I get the Vac then?
Well, it was my birthday present.
Oh. Yeah, but you don't want a pen named Gladys, do you? I think I look more like a Gladys than you do, but that's just I could be wrong.
Well, it does have a fine nib.
Oh, that's totally me.
Probably be about the right size for your hand. I know you're always complaining about large pens, so.
So I got a present for your birthday? I love being married to you.
You got the nice, the cleanest pen of the bunch.
I did. I love your sister.
Yeah, she is great. Actually, Lisa's very good. That would make for an interesting poll question, I guess, if we had a poll. Should two pieces like this stay together?
Okay, but the poll is whether the set stays together, not us, right?
Just check. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
There's no question there.
Okay, good.
So,
moving
on. That was kind of fun. Meeting up with my sister, and it's always cool to see pens in the wild. I mean, you can still find them, and this is proof of that. While I was in the neighborhood, I literally went one restaurant down, which was kind of fun. And
so you ate a lot while I was gone.
I did eat a lot.
Okay.
Not at home, but
right.
Met up with our friend and podcast listener, or maybe I should just say podcast expert, because he really knows what he's talking about.
Really does.
Tim. And we had a good time. We talked about all sorts of things, playing with pens. But it was funny. He actually said we'd been emailing back and forth all week, and I emailed him kind of late, and I said, well, okay, here's the schedule for Sunday. And he says, well, I kind of forgot about it, so I only have a couple of pens. I left most of them at the office. I said, no big deal. We get together, and would you believe he had some cool stuff. It's the first time I've ever played with a Waterman Filius. Huh. It's not a bad pen. I can see why people recommend them so often. But I've had a Hemisphere and some of the other lower end Watermans, but never the Filius. And it was pretty nice.
I had a Filius a while back, years and years ago. I thought the nib ran broad, so even the fine was more like a fat medium, and it was a little bit too big. The pen, the girth of the barrel was a little big. Pretty colors though,
yeah,
and a good price, for a beginner pen.
Yeah, I thought it was a hair scratchy, but I guess sometimes you want a little bit of tooth, especially with some of the more glossy modern papers. You got to have something to grab onto, but yeah, it was interesting. A nice looking pen.
Cool.
He also had something I saw it and I was like, yeah, I like blue pens, and he had a blue Ripple hard rubber Edison.
Oh.
It had this big, broad nib on it. Pretty pen. I just loved it.
Awesome.
So anyway, it was a short visit. We had, we played. I brought some of my pens along and some paper, and we scribbled around, and interesting conversation about all things Macs, podcasting, and pens and stuff. So we'll definitely have to do it again the next time I'm in town. So thanks, Tim.
Awesome.
And of course, I was gone this weekend, and so were you, Lisa. Where were you at?
I spent a weekend sans husband and family in Atlanta, but it was not nearly as racy as that sounds. I left. I spent the weekend in Atlanta for our annual Pen Collectors of America Board of Directors retreat, or as we call it, a recharge. where we do yearly and beyond yearly planning. One of the things we discussed is the Nankervis donation of all the pens. And while I don't want to give everything away, I can tell the listeners out there in Pendom that more pens will be available in bigger batches and through a couple different outlets. So we'll be able to have more pens available. And they're decent user grade pens. None of them are amazingly spectacular, but they're some decent pens at pretty decent prices. So we'll be moving those a little bit more quickly. Anything
I should look out for?
I need to get an updated inventory that I will probably hide from you. So no problem.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to hide that Excel spreadsheet and the pictures. We're also looking into having a new PCA pen made.
Okay, cool.
Like we've done a couple times before in the past. But again, without disclosing any secret information because nothing's firmed up yet, we've just started to talk to this mystery pen dealer. Let me just promise this one is going to be awesome. Good price point, amazing looking pen, well-known brand. We'll just leave it at that. But I'm really, really excited about being able to offer this.
So I'm gonna want one of these. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's probably going to be ebonite. Yeah. You're
you said
really,
the E word.
I know. I think I just. Well, maybe that's what I'll get for a birthday present or. What's next? Christmas or anniversary for you?
Right. You're gonna pull that off in a week? I don't think so. A couple days, actually, isn't it?
Oh, man, I need a present. Somebody out there in Pendom, sell me a pen. All right, so anniversary. I'll get you one of these.
Okay.
This would be nice. We also discussed being able to process membership payments via credit card at shows from now on. So that'll be
cool.
Nice and helpful. And we'll be selling back issues of the pennant in yearly sets so that members or even non-members can fill a gap or collect older issues that they may not have. And it'll get a whole lot of magazines out of our basement.
I like that.
I know, that's going to be awesome.
And information into members' hands is probably
Absolutely.
the more important
So this way
thing.
you can have all of the 3 issues from 2005 or 2004 or whatever.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
Yep, at a discounted price. And, we just have literally hundreds pushing over 1,000 back issues. And, there are some I'm sure that individuals are missing. So we're excited to move them.
Yeah, that'll be a good deal. And when is that going to be? We're going to be at shows or?
It's going to start at the DC show, and then we will end after the Columbus show. We hope to hopefully move most of them.
Awesome. Well, also, while you were gone.
What did you do while I was gone?
What did I do? What didn't I do? I did have a chance to be with our friends from FP Geeks. Got a chance to be on their weekly podcast. It was an earlier time this week for the European audience, and apparently Dan couldn't make it for the special airtime. So I got kind of a last minute call, and I got a chance to sit in along with Eric and their guest Stephen Brown, who is in the Netherlands, and. If you saw it, if anybody saw it, it's now, I think, going to go down in infamy as being going to the cow episode.
Wait. You were involved as a guest geek on the cow episode.
On the cow episode, yeah.
I can't leave you alone.
Well, they had this Karen Dosh
cow
limited edition pen. Is sterling silver, and it had scenes of Switzerland on the barrel, and of course they're farmers tending to their cattle, and one thing led to another, and the topic of cows just came up more than once, and
nobody mooed, right?
Nobody mooed. I don't think. I have to go back and listen to it, but I don't think I did.
Maybe Eric dubbed in some cow mooing for background music. Cow episode.
It's we've called it the cow episode, but it was a good time. And
awesome.
If people out there don't currently watch or listen to their podcasts, I highly recommend it. It's a lot
They're
of
awesome.
it's a lot of fun. If you do the video podcast when they have them up, they do have a little chat, and apparently the chat. And I've sat in on the chat a couple times, but there's always lively conversation in the chat too. So I'll be on again sometime next month. I won't tell you when, but so stay tuned. That'll be fun.
And this will be the pig episode.
I hope not.
Episode.
Jeez.
The geeks really do have an amazing podcast, and I'm not surprised that it turned into something even more highly entertaining than normal. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, we had a few technical difficulties during the episode, but boy, it doesn't even phase them. They're real good, and they just keep the show going, and it's all good. So
Awesome.
I also had opportunity to do a short piece for them on their blog this week. So if you're interested in red hard rubber pens, and you haven't had a chance, hop over to fpgeeks.com and check it out. So,
Awesome.
Hopefully you'll be seeing more articles over there in the future too.
Well, it sounds like you were too busy to be on the computer looking at eBay. So it's good, right?
No. Please. I was instructed by someone that I needed to find a birthday present. So I
For yourself.
for myself, which can be difficult. So I decided to go out and see what we could find. So let's hit just a couple of those candidates this week.
So did I get you a birthday present yet?
No, I'm still working on that.
Right. So I need to look hard and find expedited shipping. Okay. When's your birthday?
It's on Friday.
It's another last minute drive to Plymouth. Here I come.
It's going to be something. So actually the first candidate I had, and I saw this pen, it's so pretty. I had to throw a bid in here. This is the dealer here, and we're going to just feature a couple pens by him this week. Our good friend Rob Blott.
Oh, Rob has pretty pens.
He does 5-star pens. Nicest pens you ever see. They're really nice. This one in particular is a gold-filled Carey. Carey was a company produced pens out of New York. This particular pen, circa 1910. Take a look at some of the pictures here. Nice gold-filled filigree, and it has what at the time was apparently very somewhat popular to have the VV or the Van Valkenburg clip, which is kind of a nice feature. They had a couple of different designs of this for Carey. Carey actually had their name on one style. Conklin used the Van Valkenburg clips, Parker, a number of different manufacturers. But nice because you can grab it at the top and then put it over your shirt pocket. It's real nice. Beautiful filigree here, a little bit different than you normally see. It's got the original Carey New York nib. Got a little bit of a ding and a little small hairline crack in the cap, but
Pretty pen.
Careys are very uncommon. You don't find them very often, and when you do, they can be pricey. I know there was one I've been looking at on the show circuit. Saw it in DC last year and saw it again, I think in Chicago this year, and it was $250 for a ring top. This one here, $282.89, 10 bids. I came on the short end of the stick on this one, so you will not see this in the mailbox anytime soon. But
Okay.
a nice uncommon pen to take a look at. The second batch, which I decided not to bid on just based on sheer price alone, Rob had this lot here for 2 Waterman Continental safety pens. Yeah,
No, you should have bought those.
I should have. Yeah, these are.
You could have one, and I'll take the other.
Oh, I wish I'd have known that. $730, 22 bids. But boy, look at what you're getting here. 1917,
gorgeous.
Italian made, true filigree work on this one here. Two-tone.
The bottom one.
The filigree here.
Yeah.
The other one's got some nice cherubs on it, a nice little swirl on the clip. Very, very nice. And they're fully marked Waterman. The cap you can see on this top one here that has a cherub. It's got a nice little design on the top. Fully marked, a little bit of wear, 42. There's a little crack on one, but who cares? They're just really super nice looking pens.
Yeah, see, I could have gotten your birthday present, and you could have gotten my anniversary present, and we'd be done.
I'm pretty sure this was outside the price range we discussed.
I know, but they're pretty.
They are, okay.
That's those kinds of those pens are how you get caught up in just a little bit more, just $20 more. I got outbid $20 more. Next thing you know, it's like $800. But oh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, actually, price per pen, that's about right.
Yeah.
You're looking at $365 a piece, and for true filigree work like that, that's fantastic. He also had this one, and I was considering this, but I knew it was
smooth.
Yeah, I do like smooth overlays, and this is a nice one. Circa 1904, English smooth sterling. Now this is a straight cap, so it has the early section. And English pens are common. I guess this is common as an English model. It's fully hallmarked. It's got some dings, but it's tough to find a smooth overlay that doesn't have some kind of damage to it. But
pretty pen.
No cracks. It's got the FDW mark on it, which is their export mark, and it's got the nice globe imprint on the butt end of the barrel. But nice pen. This one actually $305, 16 bids. Seems, that's right on par too, but it seems a little bit cheap. I would expect it to have gone for a little bit more. But
they were waiting for you to bid one more time.
They were waiting for me to bid, yeah. So those are the three nicest ones I picked out for this week, and thought I would give a shout out to Rob anyway. So
awesome. He always has awesome stuff.
He does. I enjoy seeing him at the show, and of course he's usually accompanied by his brother Rich, who's well known for the huge parts table that he has. Boy, if you can't find it at Rich's table,
he doesn't have it.
Good luck. Rob usually takes like this small little, like half a table, and he lays out all these beautiful pens, and then Rich has got all this other, all the parts. But always good to see those guys. They'll be in DC, so it'll be fun.
Yep. And they're just funny.
Yeah.
Good guys. Good people.
Good sense of humor. Rich and I had went at it. I remember a couple years ago, right when we had the new when they had that PayPal bump thing going on for a while. So
you were bumping PayPal?
You could bump PayPal. Anyway.
I need to keep a closer eye on you. If you're bumping PayPals with some guy, that's just a real concern.
Moving on to modern.
Modern. All right. Let's see. A couple new website additions occurred in the past week to 10 days. We're pretty excited. We just added some new lines to the pen offerings with some cool Kaweco Sport and All Sport just up on the website.
Like this one here? This little guy?
Yep, that one. It's kind of shiny in the light there. But
is it shiny? Okay.
It is, but it's pretty.
Yeah. This we had this since end of last week. We got these.
Yep, just before I left.
It's one of the problems that I've found, at least with some of the modern shirt pockets, is they're not deep enough. And modern pens tend to be longer and bigger and bulkier. Of course, the All Sport and the Classic Sport, they're very compact pens. You put a clip on it and they'll fit in any pocket. So if you've ever had a problem where, I know with the TWSBIs, it happens a lot with the 700s or the 540s even sometimes.
They're long.
yeah, it doesn't, the clip doesn't go all the way down. It won't sit in the pocket, or it goes at an angle, and it's kind of awkward. So, and you know what? It writes pretty well too. So, it's kind of a bonus.
Awesome. We also got in the new Conklin Symmetrics, but we here at Anderson Pens have a bit of a problem with it.
I don't see it as a problem.
We both want the same one.
That wouldn't be this one, would it? This one right here?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that a Conklin box behind you? It is.
I don't know. This right there?
Yeah. What's that pen doing out of that box? Did you ink it?
No.
Why is it in your pocket?
Because it
what
can be.
What nib is that?
But I don't even know. I just pulled one
Better
out.
be mine.
I pulled one off the pile. But if I'm lucky, it's a medium, and we're all good. No, actually, it looks like a fine. I pulled the one for you, actually.
Aw, you're so sweet. Yeah, so obviously the blue and brown is my personal favorite. But the green is really pretty. The red and taupe is really kind of an interesting contrast, and you can't go wrong with black and white.
Black and white. Yeah, you know what I like about these is I think they've obviously stayed true to the design somewhat, but they've also stayed true to like a vintage plastic, marbled plastic feel to them. With the little, they're certainly higher gloss than they ever would have been 75, 80 years ago, but they really look, more like a vintage pen than they do a modern pen, I think. So kind of cool. I can't wait to actually do the Endurus come, because those look nice.
Yep.
So
they'll be here soon, right?
Soon.
Okay.
So and we also have some Rohrer and Klingner coming in.
Ink,
yep, and including the Iron Gall, which was surprisingly,
Mina and Robert for pushing it. They really kind of sold us on it in Raleigh, so we added that to the mix.
Yeah, I was surprised how many people actually were asking for it.
Several.
And the 120th anniversary ink, which is coming in soon. Nice dark blue black. And it comes each limited to 1,000 bottles worldwide, and each bottle is individually numbered.
That's cool.
And it comes in a really cool box. So
we got a bunch of those. Yeah,
looking forward to those coming in. What else? Lammy is coming in too, and there's a couple other things we're gonna kind of keep a lid on until next week. We got to have a podcast next week, so
got to save something.
Yeah.
And speaking of boxes on the shelf behind you, still eyeing that Conklin, trying to see what else is there that I need to know about. What about Workbench?
Well, this week has been kind of busy for some other non-pen related reasons.
Yay.
So pretty much other than the usual assortment of Esterbrook, the Jade Senior and the Deb vac that I mentioned earlier that my sister gave to me, and of course, I get home and
race up the stairs.
Race up the stairs, get the ultrasonic, clean water, rip them apart. I mean, what other gift can you give somebody, and then have them completely rip the dang thing apart right after you give it to them? So
only you, babe. Oh, thanks. I got to go now. I want to take it apart.
Yeah, let me break this. No,
you didn't break it.
I didn't break it. No, but so anyway, how about that's it for the Workbench this week, and hopefully we'll have something more exciting to talk about next week.
I'm sure that more stuff will come in the mail.
Yeah,
that you can rip apart. It just doesn't sound good. How about disassemble and repair and restore to its former glory? It sounds better than rip apart. Just saying.
Okay. How about this week's? We have a Esterbrook question this week.
Ooh, yes, I think we do.
Okay.
I just go through old emails and come up with questions that were asked quite often. And
by old, you mean like last week?
Yeah. We get Esterbrook questions every day of the year.
Yeah.
We're also often asked about the difference between the different nib series. So today I thought we would just get into a little bit about that. In simple terms, the 1000 series and the 2000 series, like the 1550 or the 2556, the 2668, those have tipping that are created by simply folding over the material to create the tipping. So you just take the nib and you just kind of fold it over. The 9000 series nibs are a little bit larger, and they actually have iridium tipping material added. So these have an actual iridium tip to it. Some people feel that the tipping makes the nibs write more smoothly, while other people don't really feel much difference. But often we get a question as to, what's the difference between a 2556 and a 9556, and that's really it. Yep. Just it's a matter of actual tipping versus folded over steel.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in most cases, 9000 series is a much nicer nib. In my opinion, there's a couple that I personally like better in a 2000 series nib. 2284 is one example. I think it's just the way, I don't know if it's the way Esterbrook tipped it or decided to tip it, but the 2284 seems to have a much wider surface area on the nib than the 9284 does. So, but in most cases, that's not really the case. The 9000 series nib is better, but that's the one. So
it is also a matter of preference. So when you can, either ask, or if you're at a show, ask if you can, dip test a nib that's in a pen.
Yep.
And then if you like it, buy it.
Yep.
That's Esterbrook FAQ for the podcast.
Awesome. So speaking of shows, what's coming up?
Like we talked about last week, Miami's coming up July 19th through the 22nd. And even though I've tried to finagle the schedule a little bit, still don't think we're going to make it. Bert Ozer runs it. Awesome show host. Also runs Philly, Baltimore, and San Francisco. We have had a request to send our pads to the show, and one of the organizers will make them available, so that'll be nice. So part of us will get there.
So we'll be there virtually?
Well, we'll be there, yeah, kind of, sort of, not really, but part of us will be.
Maybe we can have a laptop and we can do like a podcast while we're there or something.
But we're not there.
Well, we're not there?
We're going to have a podcast to Miami? No.
I don't know.
Then that's confusing. Then DC, for sure. Huge show. We just requested 4 tables. That's a lot of space.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So now we have to find like a junior assistant, and we'll be all set. A lot of table space, but then again, we have a lot to bring, and we keep adding more. I think we're going to need like a semi.
Well, we've added probably since Raleigh, about another couple boxes worth of stuff to throw in the car. So, and
yep.
It's funny. I get a lot of people they're surprised when I tell them that we drive to every show, but there's
no way.
There's no way to ship all that stuff, bring it on the plane. Risk damage. We have to drive. It's just how it is.
We have a routine, and we've gotten really good at playing Tetris.
Lisa has gotten really good at playing Tetris, and we have a routine.
And before we leave, after I've loaded the car, I need a glass of wine to chill, because it's a little stressful. But I think eventually we'll start taking pictures of the first row, the second row, the third row, completely filled, because it's crazy.
The last time we did that, we bought a new car like 3 months later. So the fact that we're talking about it again is a little scary. But maybe a semi. Okay.
We need a semi.
Just
an 18-wheeler.
You put the big A logo right on the
totally.
the side of the semi. Yep. A truckload sale, maybe.
And if we get there early, we'll just be the show in the parking lot.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. Anything else this week?
I think that's enough.
Okay.
I think we've covered it.
All right. Comments, suggestions for topics, use your pens. Write to us at Anderson Pens, P.O. Box 732, Appleton, Wisconsin, 54912.
Or catch us online.
Email brian@andersonpens.net.
Or lisa@andersonpens.net.
We're on Twitter, twitter.com/andersonpens.
We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/andersonpens.
We're on the interweb at andersonpens.net.
Check out our blog, andersonpens.net/blog.
And while you're there, join the mailing list for advance notice of upcoming events or pre-orders. Thanks for listening to our podcast. See you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.